feel like I owe everyone a second video because blew my expectations away. I got 1,500 views on the intro video I posted, so thank you to everyone that subscribed, watched, commented, liked, all that stuff. I can't tell you how much that means to me. It's both exciting and a little scary that people care and want to follow along. So before I get into the topic of this video, if you have any questions, comments, videos you want to see, anything like that, please leave them. As of now, I will be going through and responding to all of them. I don't know, that will probably certainly change when I'm out on the trail. But for now, if you have anything you want to hear, ask, anything like that, please go ahead and comment in the video. So it is Super Bowl weekend. The game is basically like 48 hours away from when I'm recording this, very close to that. And so if you are in any of those pools, like the box or square games, good luck if you're doing a little betting, if you're watching the game. I know it is more of an event. I do love watching football. I would prefer this weekend to be a regular season weekend with fantasy football and red zone. But if you're not a sports fan, that's probably boring you. But I do enjoy the game. I hope it's a good game. I only have one box this year because I'm saving up for the trail and currently not working, so being very frugal. But it's a Super Bowl, so I got one $100 box that is most likely going to go to the wind, but who knows? Final score in the pool I'm in is $4,000, halftime is $2,500, first and third quarters just over $1,000. So it'd be nice. It's good, and I have my numbers already. I have San Fran 5, Kansas City 4. 5's not great. 4 is pretty good for final score, but maybe you get a 35, 24. 25 is a little bit harder to get, but maybe you get a 25, 14, 25, 24 game. So you can hope. It gives you something to root for. So good luck if anyone is doing any of that stuff. Enjoy the game. Be safe. My prediction, I think the 49ers are going to win. I think they're the better team, but I'm not really rooting for one team or the other. Just want a good game. So a couple things have changed since that video. I think I left you with deciding if I'm going to scrap the car or fix it, and my tooth. So the car, it's gone. I scrapped it. I got a check for $550, which kind of sucks because if I didn't hit the deer, the car was worth more, but I did, and I did some pretty good damage to it, and it just, when I was cleaning it out to possibly take it to get an estimate, I was like, what am I doing? It's a beater car. It's dirty from mud and rain and work, and absorbs that smell and that old fabric and having hockey gear in there. So yeah, I don't have a car, which is a little scary. First time in my life since I was 16 that I don't own a car, but doing a hike like the Appalachian Trail, I don't need one right now, so I'll figure that out after. But yeah, first time in 20 years. Kind of weird to not own a car. Then, so today's Friday of Super Bowl weekend, the 9th. On the 13th, on Tuesday, this Tuesday for me, depending on when you're watching this, probably in the past, but I will be flying to Mexico, and then the next day, the 14th, I have some scans, and then if all is well and everything's healed with the bone graft, I'll be getting the implant a few days later, and then a few days after that. I'm not exactly sure the exact time frame, but I will be getting a follow-up, make sure it's not infected, healing correctly. And then I'll probably stay down in Mexico for a few weeks, let the weather warm up. I can live real cheap down there through hostels, Airbnbs, places with kitchens that I can cook. If you do want to go out, you can go to the little street taco stands. I love Mexico, so that's probably my plan. And it looks like, due to the problems with the car and the tooth, I might be starting a little earlier than ideal for me, but at this point, I'd rather have that savings that I have and use it earlier, and then I can find work quicker because I'll be done earlier. So I don't have an exact date yet. I will update you when I do, but it looks like I'm going northbound, and I'll save that for another time. I want to talk just a little bit of strategy, how I'm going to approach this trail, a few things. And, obviously you can't plan it, but you can go in with kind of a loose frame of a plan on how you want to approach and attack this trail. It's a long 2,200 mile journey, so it helps to have some ideas on how you want to do that. going to go over that strategy with you now. If you're looking for a gear video before I start, I wouldn't hold out too much hope. I want to put out videos that I enjoy watching, and gear videos before the trail just don't do it for me. If someone I follow along finishes a trail, I definitely want to hear about it, the gear, because I want to see what they started, what they got rid of. It's a lot more insightful than talking about gear before the trail. So yeah, can't promise you that. But strategy. First thing is what I'm using for navigation. I think it ties into strategy a little bit. So I'll be using Far Out, and I used the AWOL guide in 2016. Loved it, nothing wrong. But when I was on the Pinhoti, I switched over to Far Out. I know it was gut hooks in the past, but I'm just going to Far Out because that's what it is now. And it was everything I needed, and it has no weight or space because I'm bringing my phone anyway. So that was an easy decision. If it was lacking, maybe I would have changed it, but it's everything I need, so that's what I'm using. Pace. I want to talk about pace because a couple different things. Like the intention when you start obviously affects your pace, and then just having a loose plan. I think a lot of people, especially the younger crowd, take too long to do a through hike. I think 5 months if you're on that average pace, but I think 6 months and in that range is too long for a lot of people. Obviously everyone can do it whatever way they want and take as much time, but I think too many people come into this through hike with the mentality that it's just one giant vacation, and they spend a lot of money, and they're in towns in that first quarter of the trail, third of the trail, drinking beers and just taking too much time, not committed enough, and which is awesome that they're enjoying the moment. But if your goal is to finish, there's a reason more people don't finish than do. And I think later on, because they did take so long down south, their budget is much lower, their morale is much lower, they're ready to be done, but they're not as close as they could have been if they were a little more committed. Plus, coming from my standpoint, I've already done, on a failed through attempt, 1,300 plus miles. So I still, I forget a lot of those places. I want it to be its own unique hike. So I'm going to not blow through it, but I am going to come in with more of a dedicated, let's get some miles after I get my trail legs under me. And that lets me enjoy the northern part of the trail that I've never been to, towns up north that I've never been to. And it also sets me up for when you do, you're going to have fatigue and burnout in different stages, but I think it'll be a lot easier mentally if I'm ready to be done, or, having a bad week or a bad day and I'm over it, to be a lot closer to finish. So I enjoy the challenge of going quicker. I don't think a 4-month pace for me, that's kind of the pace I want to go on. And I want to make good videos, so if I need to slow down, then that's fine. But I think a good pace for me is like 120 to 130, because I might need to get into town a few more times to edit videos, charge up some things. But I enjoyed that faster pace. I think if it wasn't for filming, I could even do a 100-day through hike. I don't know if I'd want to. I kind of like pushing it, and then when it's time to recover in a town or a hostel, enjoying those 0 days to recover. But the purpose out of the gate is I want to finish this thing, and that's the mentality to get some miles under me, within reasonable fashion, listening to your body and your mind, not being a hero out of the gate. But that it's gonna be in my head that I failed the first time, and I really want to succeed. So it's gonna be a little bit more business at the start, and then I can enjoy those leisure days a little bit more as I get closer to the finish in places that I haven't seen before. So that's kind of just a loose way I want to approach it. I'm not going to say the cliche, but obviously you can do whatever way you want, and a lot of people need 6 months or more based on physical condition, or if that's just what you want to do and you're still committed to finishing it, that's great. But I think a big reason people don't succeed is they just are too casual with miles and taking double zeros down south, and then it ends up costing them later on of finishing a through hike. So that's my opinion, and that's my strategy going in. Could change. I could do it quicker, could do it longer, but 120 to 130 days I think is a great range for me with making videos and still being able to take zeros and enjoy time and make mileage. And then, so going into, I said, gives me plenty of zeros, so it kind of ties in with pace is how I want to approach towns. So obviously, going at a little quicker pace, you need to make miles. And let's say there's a stretch where it typically takes someone 4 days, and maybe I can do that stretch from town to town, resupply in 4 days leisurely, or I can do it in 3.5 to get town food a little quicker. I think that would help my eating style, and I know there's going to be times where I'm sick of what's in my pack and I don't want that ramen or pepperoni or whatever it is, and getting that meal quicker will be a morale booster. I know it's kind of a tricky subject because going quicker, doing longer miles, you're going to burn more calories in that day, but I just know I can get picky after a while. So to get into town a little quicker, take a half day, not even a Nero, but if I can get in and do 10, 12, 15 miles and take a half day, whether it be getting there early and having the afternoon off or vice versa, getting into a place in the evening, staying at a hostel, and then not checking out of that hostel till 11 a.m., enjoying coffee, being lazy, editing videos, charging up, and then even getting lunch in town, hiking out past noon and still getting 10, 15 miles that day. I kind of want to go with that plan, and that way you're not hanging around towns too long. You're not taking 0 days all the time or Nero days all the time, but you're still getting the resupply and the nutrients in town that you need. Because for me, I know I've struggled with getting sick of eating the same thing, and diet, I want to get a little more creative. So that ties into how I want to approach eating. I already said getting into town a little more frequently to get those calories, but also I want to eat plenty of fat and protein. I'm going to definitely have plenty of sugar, soda, bear claws, you name it, but I want to make sure I'm getting enough protein, enough fat. I don't want my body to be eating at the muscle. I want it to be burning fat. And I'm putting on a little weight right now, going to the gym, working out. So I do have a little weight to lose, but I don't want to be just withering away because all I'm doing is pounding sugar, and even though I'm losing weight, my body's just eating muscle because it's not getting enough protein. So that'll be a priority in terms of diet and trying to get fresh, whether it's one of those little green machine drinks at grocery stores. I know they're a little expensive, or bananas or fruit when I can. Just get the things at grocery stores in towns that you can't get while you're out on the trail. And diet is a big challenge for me. I think you want to talk gear, you want to talk budget, but eating is huge, obviously. You're just burning calories. So, and then that ties into bringing a stove. So I plan on bringing a stove. Give me a second here. But what I'm thinking is I start out with a stove while it's a little colder, get through the Smokies, and then at some point, maybe in Virginia, getting rid of the stove. And then as those areas of trail that you can get into town more frequently, in the Delhi Blazing, in those areas, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, going stoveless, getting in it because you have the opportunity to eat town food, and then, right around maybe Vermont, getting the stove back where I can really slow down up north, enjoy it, have hot coffee in the morning, a hot chocolate at night if I want, dinner at night. So that's a loose plan, but I'll start with the stove, and then we'll see. If I feel confident that I'll get enough calories, then I might get rid of it for a portion of the trail just to save a little weight and be quicker. You can hike later into the day and not have to cook, kind of thing. So loose plan. Again, everything I'm mentioning could change. It's just kind of strategy going in. And then, so that's kind of like pace and food. And then I think the last thing is sleeping. So sleep is so important. And I know those first couple weeks it's going to be a challenge anytime you're sleeping outside in a tent and you haven't done it in a while. Those first few nights, especially for me, are awful sleep. And you just kind of hike through it until you get tired enough that you sleep well in your tent. or hammock or whatever. But for me, it'll be a tent. I'll have a freestanding tent, and I don't plan on sleeping in shelters too often. In the Smokies, I believe they changed it back from COVID that you have to, so I'll get through that. But I'll use the community areas like shelters to pitch a tent in places that it's available, and I'm all for the social aspect of hiking at night, talking about your day at the end of a long day, and also talking about your plans over coffee in the morning. But when it comes time to sleep, I like having my little easy to set up freestanding tent. It's my space. I open that zipper, and I can go to sleep and not be bothered. Even if I'm camping around other people, just to have that own little personal space. And I don't. If mice are running over me in shelter or snoring, it's not good. And you start having a couple bad nights of sleep stacking up, and that's where I'll just be in a bad mood and really just sluggish. So sleep is a priority. And kind of going back to how it's an adjustment at first, getting used to sleeping back outside on trail. I think I'm going to take advantage of the cheaper indoor options at hostels down south while they're available. I love hostels anyway, traveling. I wish there was a bigger hostel culture in the U.S., but I think that's just kind of our travel infrastructure and how much we're relying on cars. It makes it difficult, but the trail is a perfect place that supports hostels. So I want to support them. I love them, and it's nice a couple times a week while it's cheaper to get inside, and also while I'm still kind of working out, editing videos on my phone to have that power and Wi-Fi in the places that do. So I'll take advantage of that, and that kind of saves the budget, those cheaper options down there, to really use them up north when I either physically need it or if there is a stretch of bad weather and I just want to get out. That's my strategy, is take advantage of it down south while I have it. Sleep in my tent as much as possible when I'm out on trail. I might here or there get into a shelter, but for the most part, that's my plan going in. And I think that's most of it. So I'm looking at the notes. I kind of said my strategy for towns that I'm not taking zeros in or Nero, but I'll definitely have my fair share. I think going at that 120, 130 day pace, I can still take days off. So I'll use zeros for all different reasons. It might be it just times out, I'm getting into a town and there's bad weather, and I'll take that day off. If I can get out of the rain and it's convenient, then sure, why not? I know that's not going to be the case all the time. And then if I just physically or mentally, I'm like, you know what, I need it. It's been a while since I have a day off. Then I'll take them as needed, and then they'll be planned for sure. Like some areas will just be like, I'm taking a zero there, no matter what the weather or how I feel. Something that comes to mind is Harper's Ferry, awesome town with history, psychological halfway point. That most certainly for me will be an automatic zero. When I get to my hometown in Warwick, that'll be at least a couple zeros, if not more. And then the others will just be used as needed, and depends on the crew that I'm hiking with and all that. So I think that's a good loose strategy. I might do another video like this on strategy, but more in terms of how I plan to vlog it. How long the episodes will be. Will it be daily? So if you have anything that you like watching, following along, please let me know. But you can also save that for when I put that video out and kind of give me feedback. So as I said in the beginning, you have any questions, comments you want to hear, anything, videos, as long as it's not a gear video, because I don't know if I'll make one, let me know. I think that's it. I'm looking at everything. I'm sure I missed something, but I can always catch that in a later topic. So yeah, that's my loose look at how I'm going to approach this. And enjoy the Super Bowl. If you do have a couple squares or boxes, good luck, or little wagers on the game. I'm gonna enjoy watching it with some family in Warwick, and as I said, I want a good game, and winning a little extra cash would be nice. So yeah, I'll update you when I know what I'm doing.